we're causing ourselves our own problems, because it's a lot easier to stop at the beginning than to go back and tell somebody, you can't do this anymore.
That's for sure.
And I can go back to the council meeting minutes, and it's the one I'm talking about, we said, well, it's not gonna matter because I'm putting everything out in the back. And according to the minutes, the council said, oh, great, that's fine.
See, and that's why we require a new business license to come before the council,
Yeah,
so
but
they
if
can
the
ask you
council
them questions.
Lets them, I mean,
But nobody usually comes. The ones I've come through, most of them have not came and presented it, have they?
The one he's talking about was here.
Yeah, but I mean, most of them don't.
but I'm just
Most of them
saying,
do have a representative.
according to the
here.
minutes, the council told him he could do things that he's not allowed to do according to code.
Get out.
And that's why I'm just trying to bring this up to the council to say, be careful.
In
So
the
then
case,
what is a neighbor's recourse? I mean, if the council tells my neighbor that they can do that, and it's against code, then what is my recourse?
Your recourse is to do a civil action against the mayor.
Okay,
That's the recourse. You
And
can
to vote
always
for
go
somebody
for it.
different next time.
Kelly Jarvis did
Right.
that several times. He sued Suburban Propane. He sued Mike Witt. There was a lot of the dust and noise, no odor.
A civil suit
Yeah,
from one party to another,
Yeah.
not involving the
Mhm.
right.
municipality at all?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, if it infringes on your rights, you can absolutely take them as a civil.
How'd that go for him?
He won both times, and then he
Really?
went back and got Witt again, because they continued to do it after that.
So was there like punitive damages
I
then?
believe there was associated with the second go around,
Wow.
because they continued after it
moved
was,
over cobblestone.
after it was settled. So, but you know what, they're still there doing that, and Kelly's house got bought and he moved, so.
Yeah.
I don't know what worked out there, but they're still continuing to still screen topsoil over there, so. And I know that one went to court twice.
It's.
So, and what'll happen on all these is the town has to make a decision, and that's why I go to the town council with the complaints. I'll go investigate and then I'll come back. If there's not enough evidence to go to court, the town's not gonna pursue it. We just can't pursue something. I mean, it's ridiculous to even try if you can't enforce it. There's not enough there to go to court on, or our attorney thinks there's not, then there's really no reason to go unless you just want, you can just hand the attorney a couple of $1,000s.
just because you're a nice guy.
We have several attorneys. We have several law firms, I should say. We don't have several attorneys, we have several law firms. As you can tell from our budget, our first, from the get-go, that's been our major output is legal fees. And I don't think that trend will change as we continue down.
It'll get more.
Yeah.
So where does it say, where can people find this? If they want to make a complaint, like you said, it has to be a written complaint for legal purposes, so you can show, I've done what we need to do. So if it does go to court, where does it show on the website?
It doesn't.
No.
No.
So what if, back to the situation, let's say I do end up with a rotten neighbor and the council's told him he can do whatever it is he's doing. So can't I name the town as well in my suit since the town is not enforcing their own code?
You can, but it won't go anywhere.
So the town doesn't have to enforce their code?
Basically, they have to follow it, but they don't have to enforce it. The judge isn't gonna tell them, if you don't think you can win, I'm gonna make you bring them to court anyway. Judge isn't gonna tell the town that. Matter of fact, the county will. I probably should, I won't say that.
But it's just.
I have a story.
Like, one of my neighbors is driving her nuts, and so she went and spent about $10,000 to buy trees to put back there, so she doesn't have to see it.
There you go. Fences make good neighbors
Indeed.
and or trees.
But
That's
I
why
think
we
there's a
like to-
fine line though
You can't
between,
control what your neighbors do.
yeah,
Just
and
by the-
their right to their property too.
That's what it's
And I
always up
think-
against. Their rights
Exactly.
versus your rights,
Yep.
and that's, and
But
that's
had
what.
the council explained the rules before it started,
But they still have their rights.
yeah, but that's
I
not
mean,
one
maybe
of
to
them based on the
them
code.
is
Well,
to have their stuff there. Maybe instead of cows, they like fencing.
Could be, but I'm
And one
just
thing
saying.
I think is pertinent to this too, there's an awful lot of this stuff was going on long before the town came into existence.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of these people that are getting complained at are not doing anything different than they haven't done for 30 years.
Yeah.
So now suddenly, because we're a town, it's not really possible for us to go back and amend things that happened 30 years ago and say, well, it was never right to begin with, so now you gotta stop.
But most of the stuff started since we became a town.
Yeah, those are the ones that are frustrating.
He's not against code at all.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's a touchy thing, and so we're brushing up against constitutional rights and all sorts of things that,
I mean,
Bill of Rights, I
the
mean-
same argument is, I can build a house without a building permit because I have a right to my property. And I can put it within 3 feet of the road, and I don't need any side lot variances. I mean, it's really the same thing.
close.
The town's, the town's decided to enforce that.
Yeah.
If they decide not to enforce the other. So I'm kind of like, either enforce it to some degree, and maybe the code needs to be changed, but change it so that everyone can have those same advantages rather than the ones that are willing to break the law.
Yeah, it'll be a touchy thing, so,
But
And-
that's next council meeting, right?
what's
There's
that?
a discussion on that next council.
There is a discussion on that. Yeah, there'll be a discussion on that in the next council meeting. So is there any other, does that help? The one-ton thing, does that help explain that?
Yes,
Because I know that gets mixed up and I get a ton of people pointing to that.
that
It's
makes more
like,
sense.
But this code section is for when we license a house. This isn't for what, if somebody drives a diesel and brings it home and parks, as you've seen, Jacques Schinderling's truck. I mean, he's been doing it for, and yet I get complaints on it. It's just like.
Is that one from before the town was in existence?
He says he's been doing that 16 years.
Yeah, that one is. But it's another one where he just brings his truck home and parks it.
And then goes out in the morning and leaves and
Yeah.
idles down the road.
I've been stuck behind it.
He's the one that told me that's why he does it. They don't even know when I leave, he says.
And then I think you said, oh, yeah, we got a complaint about you.
I did. I said you'd be pleasantly surprised to know I had a complaint on you this week.
Yeah, there you go.
So I do get a lot of complaints, and that's what I mean. That's why I really like him in writing, because I'm able to identify exactly what the problem is, rather than, I get a complaint, and it's so, I actually had one that I brought tonight to share with you, but I can't because they've asked that that be pulled. So the complaint is pulled, but it was so general that I wouldn't be able to, I can't go after somebody because they complained on 3000 South, Little Sweden, and Daniel Road, businesses. Well, that's the town.
Pretty.
And say, this is, must have been the one that just took pictures and drove and sent him.
So it's too general, and I can't get to the very issue. The one we got from Mrs. Wynn, very to the point. I could tell what her issues were, and what could go through there and identify what those were. And so just for me, as long as they got me chasing these complaints, that helps me, so I don't find out that that guy hates that guy's dog, and that's the reason he's complaining, which I find out a lot of times that is the case. But that's just, the council, I work for them, so. Okay, so I hope that helped you a little bit. If there's anything else we need to discuss on that. We'll go to item 7, corridor preservation. If you remember, we made the recommendation to the council on the corridor preservation. And they took out a bunch of those items that we talked about, that we didn't want in there. And then it got down to the wire. And everybody, all the other municipalities was signing on. And it came to an impasse, is basically what it did, with the town of Daniel. And so I'll just read you a little email here from the mayor of Charleston. We have collectively spent the better part of 2015 negotiating the Highway 189 Corridor Preservation Agreement, which I feel worked out quite well in accomplishing our objectives. Together, we have negotiated the removals, additions, and necessary changes to the agreement to make it what it is. What Brian Phillips has said regarding the most preferred of 3 options is accurate. Remember, we talked about the 3 options down on 3000 South. The request by Daniel to remove the word preferred on Exhibit B which terminology has been in the document since at least November 10th, to eliminate ambiguity, right, would suggest that no matter the circumstance, Daniel would have Wasatch County or Charleston Town, if and when Charleston annexes that property, guarantee the 3000 South realignment be via this preferred route. Charleston cannot make that guarantee and therefore will not agree to the suggested change. Currently, the property contained in the preferred route is under consideration by a new prospective owner-developer. UDOT and Charleston Town to be annexed into Charleston. UDOT is included because stipulations for annexation would require the owner or developer, hopefully in concert with UDOT, to complete the 3000 South realignment as suggested. Early in summer, UDOT-based 2013 agreement will build a new 90-degree Band-Aid approach to Highway 189. What they're talking about is a deceleration lane on the other side like they did on our side. From Charleston eastbound on 3000 South. Charleston is prepared to ask UDOT to delay this project no later than early August to accommodate the possibility of completing the preferred realignment of 3000 South. Regarding Bob Allen's option to reply would be 1, no changes, 2, no further negotiations, 3, Charleston will follow the current agreement regardless of the signatures. So that was Charleston's response to our last, and then he signed that with the mayor. Robert Allen said, sorry, preferred is the problem. They would like that removed to remove the ambiguity. Can't even say that word tonight. Ambiguity of the design and location. There's no mention of the proposed exhibit B, only a preferred. Is that still a problem for Daniel? And then, thanks for all your work. Robert Allen wrote everybody. At this point, I can make 3 suggestions, so this is UDOT talking back to them. I make the suggested change and I will run a new copy around to be signed. Meet together and discuss the issue. Most of us will be together at the Highway 40 agreement, which is currently going on. And 3 is continue on without Daniel's participation. I welcome any suggestions you have moving forward. And so that was the last email that went out. And then the reply to that was the county council. I agree, Mike Kohler, Wasatch County Council, to move on without Daniel. He said, I agree. Kendall Crittenden, as do I, we have come into agreement between parties mostly. All the affected jurisdictions will pass that agreement except for Daniel. I guess I'm ready to move on and conclude the agreement with or without Daniel and their 500 feet or so of jurisdiction on that route. That's Kendall Crittenden's response. So they elected to move on without us, which we let them do. So we're not part of that agreement. We are still in talks on Highway 40. We did receive another message from Mayor Koalas from Charleston that invited us to go ahead and sign that agreement.
The 189.
Yeah, because most of those changes were made on
People will
behalf.
just build a runway over there anyway, so.
That's right.
Yeah, because he said Eric did most of the changes on that, and then they didn't sign, so. Anyway.
So it'll stay like it is with the deceleration lane.
Not necessarily, remember, we wanted it lined up for that, for the light,
Correct.
and they're basically saying they're not gonna hold to that agreement, so. And we thought, well, why are we signing this if they're not gonna hold to that agreement, why are we even doing this? I look at that agreement, I say, what does the town get out of this? I couldn't find anything, so why sign it? We have nothing already.
We have nothing and we get nothing.
So I was like, I don't know what they want, if they don't wanna negotiate anymore, we're done. Okay,
You're gonna do what you want to.
So just
anyway.
stay the way it is.
so,
Do you feel better if, they must feel better if we agree to it, I guess.
I don't know.
And they're still gonna do what they want.
Yeah. And actually, I talked to some folks from Charleston that said that would never happen, that alignment, the way that it was. Even if that agreement was signed, that they would never do that, so. Which is why I brought it up, we've gotta get that word out and make it, there's no reason to have an agreement if you don't set, this is what it is and work towards that goal. It's like, we might as well not have a goal. So we're not a part of the 189 agreement at this point, that may change. If for some reason they decide that, because right now we're in the Highway 40 agreement and we do have a lot more property on Highway 40. So I suspect that most of the language will just transfer documents. So we'll still brush up against that where we have Heber City's been really good to work with. I mean, they're like, they show Lake Creek, no, Center Creek intersection, and they've redesigned that whole thing, and they're just like, what does Daniel think of that? And I said, it's gonna sound weird, but Daniel supports Heber in their redesign of their intersection.
They
It's
fell over,
theirs.
right?
What?
It's your
And
intersection.
they're like, that does sound weird. So we continue to move forward on that agreement, so.
Did they get that recorded?
Yeah, it was kind of funny, because they were like, what? Really? How's that working? So. We did get a holdup on that, basically is where Little Sweden hits Highway 40, because of the port of entry, they don't know how to design that intersection. And it boils down to, UDOT can't talk to UDOT. I don't know what's gonna happen there. I said, well, wouldn't that be something if Daniel has the first flyover in the whole valley? Port of entry. So, we'll see how that works, but that brought that to a halt. I wanted that included in the agreement because they were talking about eliminating one of our routes at Mill Road or Little Sweden. And I says, look at the town of Daniel. We've consolidated. There's only 2 ways out of here. They both need lights. So I said, we haven't done like everybody else, put a road every 30 feet. We have the main corridor. So we'll hopefully be able to preserve that enough that's why I wanted that included in that agreement. Independence sent a map, and I should have brought it to you. You could just up from the port entry, same side of the road. It's a whole community. There's residential, commercial, recreation. It's big. They're long-term plans. So they show roughly about 12 entrances on Highway 40
12?
there. Yeah. And that's before up to the gravel pit. So. Yeah. So, but they have not attended any meetings. They just sent them out. So. Their planner is Jody Hoffman from the League of Cities and Towns, the attorney, land use attorney from the League of Cities and Towns. So. We did get a daily volume map back from that. We did a study, Mountain Land Association of Governments, and we have a 2040 daily volume count on our roads. And this will be interesting to some of you. The Daniel Road will have 5,718 cars a day, trips a day on Daniel Road in the year 2040.
Do we know what it is now?
I don't have that with me right now, but they did have the counts. Little Sweden Road.
How many on Daniel Road? 5,000?
5,718.
How many on Little Sweden?
Little Sweden will have 1,556 trips
Only,
per day.
only if they fix that spot in front of the Nelson Girls' place.
Well, that must be the reason the 3,000 South is so high, because it's 1,953 on 3,000 South.
Well, you know that spot in front of their house is so narrow that it doesn't even come to code.
None of Little Sweden's to code.
Yeah.
And what year is this?
In the year 2040,
A couple years from now.
yeah.
Hopefully I'm dead by then.
Keep
Not
working.
now, you got a pacemaker.
No kidding.
It's hard to turn those suckers off when you're dead.
Oh, no, it isn't. All I need is a magnet
got
and an
Duracell.
induction stove,
Yeah.
which I have.
It's got Duracell in it, you're here.
Oh, yeah. I learned today, I just need a magnet about that big to turn it off.
1,500 cars a day works, that's about 1 car a minute
Yeah.
Jeez.
per person.
That's okay, you should see Little Sweden when those
3 minutes?
tanker trucks
Yeah.
go down at the 2 tankers.
Yeah.
Or when the guys with the truck, the camper, the boat,
So
and
Bush
the
Road, and then down the
ATV
street with my
go
mom.
down it.
Yeah.
We haven't lost a kid on there. I've been out there 30 years. We have not lost a kid on that road. We've lost many animals. One of these days, we're gonna lose a kid on that road. The way they drive. I picked up a dead cat just the other day off my lawn that somebody had hit. And it went flying in the road, but yeah,
I picked up my cat out of the road.
yeah. I don't speed down your road, only in front of your house.
That's where I speak too. I hit the speed limit going and coming home. Okay, so that brings you up to- on the corridors, the flag lot standard update. Remember we sent the council the flag lot standard, we had those 14 items. The council decided that this new road standard covered that, and they turned down the flag lot altogether. So it's been turned down on the flag lot, I want to make you aware of that. Okay, that takes us to approval of the minutes, February 17th. Has everybody had a chance to review those?
Yeah, I have
Any-
one correction.
Okay,
It's just verbiage. It's, we're concerned about drones, not droids.
yes, these are not the droids you're
Looking
looking
for.
I must have been watching one of
Good
those.
eye, yeah.
So I read it and I didn't even notice it.
Well, that's why I didn't do
Maybe we're
anything,
concerned
because I
about
wasn't
holes.
working with the
But we then have to have a code.
Now, where are you talking?
concerning the droids
Public
in town.
Clear it
I
up
hadn't
there.
seen
I'll
the
go with-
Star
I
Wars
did have
movie
to.
before that last week.
Thank you.
Those are not the droids we're looking for.
But we should be worried about both.
Yes.
Yeah, we should be. We should be.
After all, it's 2016.
Now, how many droids are gonna be going up and down the road in 2040?
Yeah. Yeah, really.
If the drones take off, maybe none, we might just be flying.
I'm still waiting for the flying car.
Have you seen the drones hoverboard? Looks like a much better way to travel than a car.
That'll be in the list.
Soon on Daniel Road.
You're talking standing on a drone?
Yeah, you stand on the quadcopter and then
How,
you fly
how
it.
big are the blades? Jeez.
Not big.
Really? And they'll lift up a human? Wow.
High enough to
Safer
get
for
over
the
the school
animals.
fence so they can come down Pam Street?
Maybe.
Not touch the road. Okay, is that the only correction? Can I entertain a motion?
I move that we approve the minutes from February 17th, 2016.
Okay, I have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion and a second. Okay, Kathy Jo? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, motion to adjourn, number 11, we've made it.
I make a motion that we adjourn the April 20th meeting of the Daniels Planning Commission.
Awesome. Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We stand adjourned.
Yes. Until such time as we will be notified of the next meeting.
Yes. Well, really, we don't have a meeting if we don't have anything, unless you guys want to meet. If there's any time you guys want to meet, just let me know. I mean, if we don't have anything on the agenda, there's really,
I don't suppose there's any way you can make some earlier than the Sunday before.
Yes.
the day before. I usually do it on Sunday.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If
You
could
want it
let-
earlier than the Sunday?
Yeah, if you could at least let us
Prior,
know
just
a week and a half
Yeah,
before,
I need more time to come up
rather
with
than the
excuses.
Sunday before.
Well, usually what happens is the council meets, and then that's where they send things to the planning. So it's usually, what, the 8th and this.
Well, you're lucky I'm here tonight.
But
That's- I've got millions of
You're lucky
people.
you're here. You got a pacemaker right there.
And it's only been a week since I've been out of the hospital.
Trailer brakes.
And I got a house full of people and
We're at church.
People are wrapped around.